solo mio. Okay, alright. It's late. Well, it's late for me. It's probably later for you guys. It's probably the middle of the morning or something like that. So we're going to get through this video pretty quickly, and hopefully I will come back to the topic of cover some other time. For those of you who have some really curly questions for me, which I'm sure you do. I'm just doing my sound check now. It's all coming through good, which is excellent news. I'm so happy about that. We'll pop out this, that's good, we'll drop that out of the way. You will find the start time for this video down in the description if you want to get past all of my waffle and my setup and my sound check and things like that. So, now normally what I do, if you haven't been part of my live streams before, normally what I do is I present everything first and then I open it up for questions and answers. And I'm going to follow the same format that I've always followed. How's it going, dear Jesus? Yes, it looks like it's midnight for you. Oh my. Okay, all right. So I'm going to get started, and I will be using some props, some maps, miniatures to demonstrate things for today. Okay. Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And as it happens, we're going to talk about reflex saves. No, that wrong version of the game. It's Dungeons and Dragons 5e, not Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 or version 3 or version 4 or anything like that. So yes, what we're going to talk about is the Dungeons and Dragons 5e rules for cover. So if you turn to page 196 of the Player's Handbook, you will find details on cover. The only problem is you will also need to look in the Dungeon Master's Guide to find additional information on how to deal with cover, because it's not quite so simple when you start using a grid. And I know there have been a number of people who have asked questions regarding the topic and been confused, which I totally understand. It makes perfect sense. Okay, so here's how it works. Obstacles can provide cover in combat, making a target harder to harm or hit. Essentially, that's the whole purpose, is it's harder to hit them. A target can only benefit from cover when attacks or effects originating on the opposite side of the cover. So in other words, you have to have the cover between you and whoever is targeting you. Otherwise, you don't have cover. You're standing out in the open, and chances are you're going to die very shortly. There are 3 types or degrees of cover for those of you who want to know, and those are half cover, 3/4 cover, and total cover. Total cover should be pretty obvious, but I will still cover it. Now, if you have multiple sources of cover, you do not stack the bonuses from that cover. So if you have half cover and 3/4 cover, you would not stack the armor class bonus or the dexterity saving throw bonus that you would get from both of those covers. What you're going to do instead is you must select the best cover save bonus there is. So if you have 3/4 cover and half cover, then you take the 3/4 cover because it's better than half cover. But you do not stack them. Cover is not the same as something like line of sight. It is related to line of sight, but it's not exactly the same thing, because you can have total cover, which means you can't be targeted, but you can still see the target if the thing that they're looking through that is providing a barrier between you and somebody else is transparent. If you can see through it, and look, let's get real, it's Dungeons and Dragons, right? Fantasy. Chances are magic, transparent things will exist. I don't know necessarily about transparent blocks or bricks or anything like that, but who knows? It's always possible. Okay, so now let's get to the crux of it. We need to break down and talk about the different types of cover. Half cover, 3/4 cover, and of course, total cover. So for today, what I've decided to do is bring along a couple of friends to help me demonstrate exactly how this works. And I'm going to read out the details from the book, but I will also make sure to make it clear exactly what's going on. So here we go. We have 3, I don't know what we call them, miniatures. We have our wizard, we have our rogue, and we have our barbarian. And for today, I've asked our wizard to demonstrate what half cover would look like. Now, half cover essentially means that a target with half cover has a +2 bonus, so you add +2 to your armor class or AC, and you get a +2 bonus to your dexterity saving throws. Okay? A target has half cover if the obstacle blocking it at least half of its body. Now, I know you might nitpick and say, Fred, that's slightly less than half its body. Look, you get the idea. If you're covering at least half the body, okay, you get half cover and you get this benefit. The obstacles can be something such as a low wall, maybe something like a large piece of furniture, a narrow tree trunk, or another creature. So half cover could also be something like the rogue. Standing in the way would be classified as half cover. So that means shooting past allies and enemies is going to be a bit problematic. Please go back where you were. Thank you very much. Just like so. So remember, when it comes to half cover, okay, other creatures also are classified as being cover. And you get a bonus of +2 to your armor class or +2 to your dexterity saving throws if they are standing in the way. So that's essentially your half cover. What about 3/4 cover? Well, for this, I'm going to ask the barbarian to demonstrate. So as you can see, ta-da, 2 dice stacked on top of each other. A target with 3/4 cover has a +5 bonus to armor class or AC or to dexterity saving throws. A target has 3/4 cover if at least 3/4 of it is covered by an obstacle. So at least 3/4 is covered by an obstacle, which is 2 dice, essentially in this case. Now, an obstacle could be something like a portcullis or an arrow slit or a thick tree trunk. Now, it's up to you and your dungeon master to determine what is classified as being 3/4 cover. And I know a lot of people get upset and angry and sort of worried about, oh, well, it doesn't seem fair. Look, it's a game. It's a game. So we're covering cover. Right, that's covered that one. Let's go and do the total cover. Now, total cover, like it sort of sounds, suggests that there's total cover. So, Rogue, please demonstrate. That is total cover. Okay, a target with total cover can't be targeted directly by an attack or a spell, although some spells might reach such a target by including an area effect. Now, just because the rogue is standing behind the big square thing, the big cube, doesn't mean that something like fireball can't damage them, because even if you drop the fireball in front, it will wrap around the target. Essentially, that's what it's saying. So, I can't see the target, which is to do with line of sight, but it has total cover because its entire body is covered by something. It doesn't really matter what it is. In this case, it's a huge cube or a big dice. Okay, a target has total cover if it is completely concealed by the obstacle. Ta-da! Very, very simple. That was so easy. Why haven't I done this video sooner? It's because I was afraid of doing this video because I knew people would start asking me really tricky questions, which, as it happens, means I will have to do a follow-up video at some point because this angle is not kind of right for what I need to talk about with regard to little lines and obstacles and stuff like that. But what you can do is you can turn to page 250 and 251 of the Dungeon Master's Guide, and there will be a whole bunch of information on determining cover for creatures, particularly for creatures that are large size, but also for figuring out on a grid whether you have half cover, 3/4 cover, or total cover. This video simply can't detail that explanation or that part of the topic in a huge amount of detail because I just don't have the camera set up in the right way to make that possible. So that'll be the subject for another video. Now, if you found this video helpful, educational, useful, please share it and like the video with other people. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos, whether that be a live stream or a edited video. And chances are they do actually happen sometimes. Make sure to hit the bell button to be notified. Make sure to check your YouTube settings, because otherwise, if you're not reachable, they won't send anything to you, unfortunately. Now, if you want to support my channel, you did so by watching this video. Thank you very much. I have hundreds more for players and dungeon masters, and as it happens, I have a whole bunch of videos on the core rules, so you're welcome to go and check them out if you want to. I think it's called How to Play D&D 5e or something like that. It's a pretty simple playlist. Now, I don't do Patreon, but if you want to support the channel so I keep doing this sort of thing, then I have affiliate links down in the description where you can buy stuff online from Amazon, the book depository, whatever, something like that. I get a small commission, you pay exactly the same price, and that helps me to make sure I keep doing this sort of thing and buying other stuff, keeping my gear up to scratch. Now, this is your opportunity in the live chat to ask questions, give feedback, disagree with me, say hi, or just say, Fred, I'm really tired, I need to go. See ya, bye. Otherwise, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. I'm not gone, but I do need to have a drink of water because I feel like I was full of sugar, which I know I'm not, but I should be. I'm just going to jump back to the screen here, have a look at the live chat box, have a discussion with people who need to ask questions. DBS Super is having a good old laugh. I don't know what I said, but if I was entertaining, at least it wasn't a complete waste of your time. Dear Jesus, hey there, DBS Super. Now, let me just make sure I get this right. Zalbarnap. Zalbarnap? I hope I got it right. Thank you for doing this. You are welcome, Zalbarnap. If I presented you with the information you required, that's awesome. Now, I do realize that it would be really helpful if I could demonstrate and show you looking top down, which I will do. But that will be called Dungeons & Dragons 5e Cover Rules Advanced, okay? Because I just can't do it in this format. And I felt like if I was going to do cover rules, I needed to make it super simple for those people who are just getting into the game. And this is an easy way of visualizing the concept, okay? Dear Jesus gives me the thumbs up. Thank you very much. I can see my D&D 5e has not... Okay, I can see why D&D 5e does not have tower shields available. Well, that's exactly right. If you had a tower shield, you just hide behind the tower shield. You now have total cover. Dear, I can see a lot of problems occurring from that. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's any other questions, which is good. That means that I have covered all the things I needed to. Like I said, there will be a follow-up video on cover, but it will be called Dungeons & Dragons 5e Cover Rules Advanced, and it'll have a totally different camera setup, and I will get out the pens and I'll draw lines, and yeah, we'll have a good old discussion and natter about the whole thing. And I will also talk about large creatures and larger creatures than large, and how cover works for them. Alright, I think that's it. We're done. I will take off. You guys have a good night, a good morning, good afternoon, a good day wherever you are in the world. Look after your family, look after yourself, and don't do anything completely stupid, because that would be really bad, and I would like to at least get a chance to chat with you again in the future. Okay, now I am gone. See you later.